primary control of critical functions.
Greetings, all you wild and weirdos and weirdettes. We're back, and we knew that this day was coming, but boy, oh boy, did we get some interesting news this week. Before we go into that, let's go through the usual thing. I have set the goal up there. As you'll notice, the goal now says for new gear and better content. Not that this isn't that bad of content, but we want to do something really cool, and we want to make sure that it's available for everybody here and not just, something for members or something you got to buy into. To do that, it's going to take a little bit, but we're going to be able to do it. We're almost there. And with your continued support, we're going to get there. So I can tell you that one of the projects, really quick, we are going back to Wineberry, and we are going back with different gear, and there will be things that you get to see that we wanted to do the last time, but we did not have either the equipment or the time to do. So we will be going back out there, and you will get to see that here on this channel, Wild and Weird WV's channel. So all that said and done, make sure you like, you subscribe, and you hit that share, because we want to get this out to everybody. There's 30 of you right here, right now. 30 of you need to share this right now. I'm not kidding. You guys can share that stuff about fake alien invasions. You can share this. Trust me.
Absolutely. Spooky asks, will Joe get prettier if you make it?
Okay, so here's the thing. He could.
Technically.
He could. Yes, he could. But I will bet you that he's going to look a lot better.
Yeah. I love you, Jimbo. All right. Uvaru, $5. Thank you. LR Miller, thank you, brother. We appreciate you, man. And then I know we've got dances with orbs in here too. Thank you, guys. We appreciate all of you all that keep this stuff going. And
you're all doing it.
Like Ron said, it keeps it from being behind a paywall. And this stuff, to do this stuff and to do it the way that we do it, it's just a constant.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. That's all there is to it. It's a fee, and it's hard work. It's the same thing. And then, we're doing real jobs too. And, we're sitting here all day going through the news and send it back and forth between our real jobs and trying to stay on track with what's going on.
Yeah, it's tough. And
it's rough, man, but it's worth it. So
it is because we have a community here that wants it and is hungry for this type of stuff and wants it in a format that we provide. And you guys, we don't have, it's no secret, we are not the biggest channel in the world.
Oh, really?
Our channel does not have the numbers that a lot of these other channels do that pump out fake content, for the lack of a better term, or they pump out clickbaity content. We do what we do it real, and we thank you guys for supporting it. And you guys that are donors here are literally making up for literally thousands of members.
That's right.
You guys are bridging the gap for us to be able to do what we do. We're doing right now, okay, numbers wise, we're at 20, almost 20, 2,500.
I'm not sure. I'll be honest.
Ballpark 2,500 subs. Okay. Like we're below it. We haven't hit 2,500. We're below it, I think, or 27.
I don't know. I think it's 27.
It might be 27.4 or 27.5.
Yeah, I think it's 27.
Anyway, we are performing because of you guys.
2750, guys. We actually up one. Yeah, 2750. Right. So we're under 3,000 is where we're at.
We are performing at a channel that would probably have 7,000 to 8,000 subs because of you guys and what you're doing.
Yep.
And we are growing slowly. We are getting there. But for a channel who has been around as long as we have to be where we're at, it is crazy that you guys do what you do for us week in, week out, and literally keep this thing on the road. Larry, thank you. Joe's makeover.
Yeah. And that right there is why we want to keep it free for everybody and not have, the members things and all that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you do that on your channel, bless you, every single one of you. And maybe someday when we have, 60,000 people, we can maybe do that, but we don't have to do that right now. And I'd rather not. I'd like to keep it to where everybody can, watch us from their phones and whatnot. And I'd like to be able to get it to where, that content's going to be in 4K. I'd like to get it to where we can, get you good stuff, because we noticed a lot of you guys through the analytics are watching on your TVs.
Yep.
And we want to get the quality, we want to get the sound, we want to get all that to where
James Nelson.
Mothership landing party.
Well, Mothership landing party. I tell you what, I've got you one, brother. I've got you a Mothership landing party.
Do it.
Here it comes.
Send the blessing. They came to say thanks. So, aside from some of the crazy stuff that we saw this week, we of course have been going back and forth with this, but it's significant that we'll show. I'm going to show a clip really quick here, and then we'll go into some of this other stuff. But we've got Dave coming on tonight. Just to let you all know, our resident astronomer is going to be here later, and he's going to be talking about some of these new discoveries, because there are a couple, and one is real. I mean, really, well, both are real, but one is really real and could be really ground shaking.
Ron deserves a petty or something IG pretty too.
Oh, see, that's so nice of you guys. Thank you guys. Maybe just a new hat. I could go for a new hat.
There you go.
So anyway, what we have is we've got that, and we've also got a massive amount of there were some sightings this past weekend, including one that I had. I notified you about it, Joe. I notified Stan about this, and then I asked around on the board for people to send in some of their accounts if they saw anything. And yes, they did see stuff. It does appear that this past weekend there was something going on with this electrical storm that took over the area. And you'll get to hear about that. We're going to go into that in depth. I actually made a recreation of the sighting for you, and it gets weird. But before that, let's have a little look at this intro video real quick. Now, this all started a while back. You guys might remember. I don't know. It's possible. Some of you might remember, but for the new people who don't know, here you go.
We don't know what exactly is going to happen. We just know this. We saw an increased amount of publicity on the UFO topic, and we've seen it. And we saw how stonewall it was for 7 years. What happened? Why did it all of a sudden get to the point to where now we all have to know what happened? I think this is very funny, because I said today, anyone who's on our top page, on Wildbridge top page, you know how I feel about this.
Especially if you listen
to our podcast. I've said it a million times. Because I believe that the clock is ticking, and it's not our clock anymore. I don't think that we have a choice. I think it's coming, whatever it is. Nick Pope has a quote at one of his recent lectures that he gave, and that's exactly what he said, that something was coming. I couldn't agree more with that. I do not know what it means any more than anyone else. I'm not one of those people who's going to tell you that aliens are coming, and I don't know what they are. We have no idea if they're aliens. They may be older than us. They may be the rightful owners of the planet for all we know. I don't know. But I can't think that things are about to change, and that's kind of what we're seeing.
That was a
So
really interesting event to be a part of, because it was the first gig I think that we had after things started kind of loosening up from the pandemic.
well, it was still,
And the crowd was still really, really
Sparse.
engaged. You know,
Yeah.
it was a small church that we were in, an old church, and it was really interesting. But like you heard Ron saying there, Nick Pope, Ron, everybody who's been following ufology for decades.
There's another, that guy.
Yeah, right,
that
right.
guy.
Have been saying that there's something coming.
Yeah.
And nobody's the people who are smart have never claimed to know what it was.
No, we really don't know what it is. Yeah, well, there is a rock there. You know, it's not very big, but that rock is going to hit the moon. That has been. They are pretty certain that.
Oh, it is. They think that now the percentage has gone way up for the moon.
They're still thinking it's going to hit the moon. There's some good charts. We're probably going to show that next week. But it looks like, you know, they're saying that, you know, there could be a impact, and I think the crater is something like a mile is what they're predicting at this point. So it'll be the biggest impact on the moon in 5,000 years. So this is pretty big. This is a very big astronomical event.
I wonder if we'll be like, the only thing we can hope for is that it's dark when it happens and we can actually see it.
Right. If it were to happen, you know, on a new moon, that would just be amazing, wouldn't it?
Right. Because you would see that area light up.
Oh, you would. Yeah, you totally would. And for those who got to see, you know, the Shoemaker-Levy comet when that slammed into Jupiter back in the day, you know, you could see that from Earth. So you can imagine what the moon's going to look like. You had to have a telescope for the other one, but this one you could probably see. So last week,
that's in 2032, right? That's the estimated impact time is 2032.
I think that's what that one was. There's so many things that are moving
like
through
6 years from now is what I
think.
6 or 7 years.
Yeah. There's so many things that are moving around right now out there that it's hard to keep up with everything, to be 100% honest with you, because I went in here and I looked at some of this stuff and I'm like, oh my God, there's this is a never ending thing now. But those of you guys who watched last week, you heard us talking about Dr. Villarroel's proposed paper, right? At the time. Well, it launched. Okay. So we got it. It came out this week and it started to make news, right, Joe?
It did for the first hour.
Right. Yeah. It started to make news. And it's pretty significant. It's really significant stuff.
Yeah.
But it got overtaken. It got overtaken by things and stuff. And again, we called the things and stuff because we were on top of when this was happening too. So yeah. I'm going to go ahead and play that little clip for you guys too, for you who don't know, who weren't here.
It makes sense. Well, let's go into this interstellar object. I teased him with it. I told him that this is now the third that's popped up, and I showed him the first slide for the interstellar object. So let's jump into slide number 2.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wednesday, July 2nd, NASA confirmed that A11 Please Strike Earth is an interstellar object and gave it a new official name, 3I Atlas. The agency also revealed that the object is a comet, not an asteroid, and updated other information about its trajectory through the solar system. You can see the interstellar interloper for yourself in a live stream by the Virtual Telescope Project on Thursday, July 3rd. Well, that's today. You're with us, so you're not watching this object unless you got it open on another window. The astronomers have spotted what they think might be an interstellar object hurtling through our solar system, and it's headed towards us. This visiting space object, potentially the third of its kind ever seen, and will make its closest approach to the sun in around 4 months before eventually leaving our cosmic neighborhood forever. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when this thing U-turns at the sun and bolts back out of our solar system?
Right. If it pulls a Oumuamua.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
It makes
there's
sense. Well, let's go into this interstellar object.
whoops, hang on. I'll remove that. I gotta remove that one. Do.
51 days to Mothman Festival 2025.
Gary Schuler, thank you.
Hold,
Blessings.
what?
Multiple. What? Holy crap. Chug?
Chug, thank you so much. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But please get a hold of us. Email here. I'm going to throw our email up. Please contact us via email. Here we go. Thank you, Chug. Holy cow.
I'm speechless. I can't say anything at this.
That
did it.
That did it.
I don't
What? Holy cow. Thanks for following Paranormal Horizons, by the way. Thank you for coming here and hanging out with us tonight.
Chug, I got to ask you, I mean, God bless you, first of all.
Yeah.
But what was, I just got to ask, what was your favorite episode of Paranormal Horizons? I'm curious. Well, I'm kind of sidetracked now. I don't even remember what I was doing.
Right. So, well, okay.
Part 2. That's what I was doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
okay.
you, Chug. Thank you. Thank you.
Huge thank you.
Just so you know, that is something that we obviously, if no matter if somebody's donating $5 or what you just did, we give everybody the respect and the notoriety for what they're doing, and give them the a position in the executive producer role. And I'm going to add you in
right now. Yeah.
Right now. But please contact us, because one, I want to get to know you, for one, because like that's, you just watched us in Paranormal Horizons and you did that, and that's tremendous that you believe in our work that much that you're pushing behind us for that. And we are going to Wineberry, by the way. You said for more Wineberry, we're going there.
That's what it, yeah.
That's what we were actually raising funds tonight for, to get some stuff done there. And that just, holy cow.
There's your synchronicity for you at work again. So
wow.
Yeah, guess we're definitely doing that. Well, everybody thank Chug, because that literally did do it. We will we'll have that new series here pretty soon for you. I'm thinking. So yeah.
And wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, guys,
I'm gonna try to move on. I know the show must go on, but man, there's some things that just floor you sometimes, and that's one of the things that just completely floored us. So, God. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And we will put your name in credits, not just there, but in the show here. I'm adding you to that now, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, please. Wow. Okay. I'm going to go back into trying to find this clip now. Let's see. Intro clip 1. And I think it's intro clip 2. It is intro clip 2. Okay. I found it.
This show's free. Thanks to our executive producers, Adam Good, L.W. Marshall, Larry Hose, Oz in the Woods, the newest member, Chug Stugans, John Smirker, Richard Minnick, Luke McCombs, Gary Schuler, Teresa of Teresa's Haunted History of the Tri-State. Who else? We've got Ada Cox, Nancy White. There's Scott Holbrook, Lisa, a.k.a. Dances with Orbs. The West Virginia Bigfoot Project. Finding the Trackway and the Trackway Clan. Tommy Swigger, Pat, Seth Beans, Lamille. Go check him out if you ever need some Mothman tattoos. Kenny Hess, Small Town Monsters, obviously. James Nelson, Octopus with at least a few friends. Dewey the Deucer Edwards, N.W. Hall, Uvaru 235, Spooky Appalachia, Lady Wolf, L.R., Guitar Chains Craig, Travis Rednick, Jeffrey Steele, Russ Bailey, Chris Coots, Bigfoot, Littlefoot, Terry Summerfield, Sarah Ramsey, Julie Bug, Donna Ho, Angie Flannery, Jen Clower, Jamie Snell, Ike the Fob Daddy Fobber, Ashley Hillett on Wednesdays We Talk Weird. We've got Lotus Flower, Asher's Creation, Wendy the Pooh Bear, and Paranormal or Spirit Brothers Paranormal UK, Richard Minnick, Pat Noble, Kim Drescher, Paul Sherman, Rick Skinner, John Barnes, and the West Virginia Bigfoot Project. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, everybody. And just y'all are awesome. This just made the
Multiple blessings.
expedition that we're launching here in a couple weeks fully covered and funded with what we needed to do.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to our next.
And it's stuff like this, by the way, Chug, in case you haven't watched our show before, it's stuff like this that keeps everything from behind a paywall.
Yeah.
And it keeps it free for everybody for eons and eons to come.
Yep, sure does. And now we're going to go fill in the blanks a little bit more about this
Jen
object.
said Chug should be 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much Chug just did was 8, 9, and 10 for sure.
Yeah. Anything else is
passed and blown out of the water. Thanks to everybody tonight.
Yeah, the goal's good, guys. Yeah, you know. Bless every single one of you, though.
Based on A11PL3Z speed and trajectory, experts think it originated from beyond the sun's gravitational influence and has enough momentum to shoot straight through our cosmic neighborhood without slowing down. However, more observations are needed to tell for sure. Until now, only 2 confirmed interstellar visitors have ever been spotted. Comet 2I Borisov, which has been seen sailing through the solar system in 2019, and the Oumuamua cigar-shaped object that made headlines in 2017, when some astronomers argued it was potentially an alien probe, before experts showed it was most likely a hydrogen-spewing space rock.
I'm going to stop you right there. The astronomer was Avi Loeb. He knew what he was talking about.
Yep.
The experts actually created a new form of physics almost to explain what they needed to explain.
Yep.
They definitely created a new object that doesn't exist except for in theoretical space, and said, well, this must be it. And we actually covered that when that happened. So that's more attempted disinformation.
So we have the rocks in the sky that have been covered in the news. We've got that blowing out, and that really took the wind away from the paper.
Well, we knew it was going to happen. Let's be real, because,
11PL3Z is currently around 3.8 times as far from the sun as Earth is. Its first close approach to a planet will be on October 3rd. When it comes relatively close to Mars, shortly afterward, it will reach its closest point to the sun on October 23rd. Coming within 2 Earth-Sun distances of our home star, according to the universe today. Earth will be on the opposite side of the sun, so we're not going to get to see it. The object will likely make its closest approach to Earth in December on its journey back out of the solar system. So, where are we at with this now?
Well, where we are with this right now is kind of what we thought was going to happen, I think. Pretty much. And that is this.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's also going to be the rampant proliferation of articles that say that this is, Planet X, Nibiru, giant mothership, you name it, heading for Earth, because it fits the profile of some of the stuff we heard.
But the lie is coming. All indications, like all of them, is that lie is going to be that there is a craft slowly making its way to us here on Earth. And that is the lie they're going to want you to believe.
I mean, now we have this to digest.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago about a potential planet X, and then wasn't but a few days later that they announced a 9th planet in the solar system.
So my question is,
that's completely different than these space rocks that are moving towards us.
Yeah. So are we creating our own realities over here? I'm just afraid to do the news anymore. So here's what happened for you guys who don't know. I mean, every single one of you know at this point that, giant mothership, hostile intent, right? All that. That's not what Avi actually said. He prefaced it with speculation. He actually says, it's unlikely, but we need to have these conversations. And he's not wrong. We need to have these conversations, right, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. We do. It's whether they're speculative or you're just looking at everything on the table, you have to have these kind of conversations because it is a possibility. It's not like this is something anymore. If we were to rewind time back to the 1970s, yes, that would be nearly science fiction to talk this way. But today, with everything we've had coming out, everything should go on the table. The possibility that we have something coming and watching us or coming to observe us is very real. We've been documenting things in our skies for how many years now?
Well, and this goes right back into what, Dr. Villarroel's whole thing was with the missing plates, right?
Yep.
And then the whole Menzel gap we talked about last week. This all plays back into the same thing. And then, it also plays into what Jeremy was saying. And this whole, 2027 thing that we've all heard and talked about. And, even we said, there's something coming. But do I think it's a giant mothership? No, I don't. And, could it be? Yes, it could be. And I think that's where we need to be. We need to stop acting like we know everything and have this bias. And that's what Avi was trying to say. It's like, look, we just made there's this new telescope. I'm sure, I know for a fact, Joe, that when we get Dave over here, he's going to run his mouth about this telescope, right?
Probably.
So, yeah, exactly. So we're going to know more about that before this show's over. But here's the thing. Like he said, we're going to see more of these because we're just starting to discover these interstellar objects. We don't know what normal is with these things.
No.
Is it a comet? No, it's probably not a regular comet. It may not do normal comet outgassing and all the normal things with the tails and, that may not happen, but it could still be a comet. Now it is weird. I'll give him this, that it's coming at the angle that it's coming, again, he's saying it could be because that would make sense. And instead of putting our heads down and saying, nope, that could never happen, and getting Pearl Harbored, we need to start thinking about one day, one of those interstellar objects is going to be that. It's going to come here. And there will be two choices. He's right. It'll be benign or it'll be hostile. There are no other choices.
Right. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of these clickbaity headlines that everybody sees.
Let's do that. What was your favorite one? Because my God.
Let me see. I'm gonna actually try to grab the thumbnail that is my favorite. But I do also before we get too deep, you know what? Before we get you want to go back and talk about the paper some?
Yeah, let's do that, because again, this is what happened in real life with hers.
Right. Absolutely. So
go ahead.
The professor's paper was profound. She has years of documented study here where they have seen these objects, monitored these objects as they move, and now they've determined essentially like the terminology used is almost like you could reach out and get one or capture one, retrieve one. But I got this and I sent this to you, Ron. And this is from the paper.
Okay.
These are courtesy of the ResearchGate website, which is where the paper was published. And these were 3D rendered objects and what they've observed.
Yeah, these are representations of the light flash on these objects, because there's these objects. You want to talk about sneaky? These are sneaky, right? Because they're in geosynchronous orbit, so we're not going to notice them moving across, the skies when we're doing these plates. That would look like a meteor streak, right? They're not doing that. They're with us, and so what they're doing is they're turning, and she kind of, the team kind of figured out that if they turn, then these are the shapes that they could represent. And dude, there's thousands of these things. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, there are thousands,
hundreds of thousands, actually. I think the upper limit was around 300,000. I think is what I've heard at this point.
And that these numbers and these shapes and everything are what were being talked about in that video release, that when you see it, you won't be able to believe it.
Yeah. So, the paper's been peer reviewed right now. So we're
Yes.
going to hear more about this soon. Hopefully people look at it with an open mind and they actually, understand. I know there was, they tried right before it came out. They tried to get her, didn't they? They tried to do that little sniping job where they were,
They did.
oh, it's, cause she said, it could be, atomic, basically caused by atomic tests in the day and nuclear tests in a day, basically cosmic particle kind of stuff. But here's the thing. They only showed up when the sun would be directly in line with these things. And when the Earth's shadow, the umbra, was out that way, then they went dark, meaning that they're actually being lit by the sun. So the weird part was there was an extraordinary number, I think 45% or something, that occurred on days when we did nuclear tests.
Right.
We've heard this before. Well, we've heard this before, that there's this fascination with our nuclear tech or atomic tech, et cetera, back in the day.
So we've now got confirmation that some of these objects were diamond shaped, some of these objects were triangle shaped, sphere shaped. What if some of these near Earth orbit objects sometimes drift into below cloud deck and are darting around?
I mean, who knows? I don't know what they are.
What if they could be? I mean, this is speculation, purely speculation, but some of these objects look like some of the things that we've captured.
They do. They absolutely do. And they look like some of the things that you've seen other people capture and that they've been seen in our skies forever, right? I mean, you saw some of those shapes. I mean, that's the Nuremberg print, So these things, they're there. But the weird part is, if this is real, then it almost hints to a point that these were some kind of an early satellite or probe system that's monitoring us. And if they're in geosynchronous orbit, they've been put there. It's a technology that's been put there for a purpose. So that shows higher intelligence. Are we that interesting?
I mean, it goes back to the Petri dish or zoo theory.
It does.
That it could be monitoring.
It does. It does. And I'm not going to cause hype and crazy speculation, but again, it's like Avi said, you've got to think about this stuff and you've got to entertain these notions. You don't want it to be certain things. Let's just
Tony
say
says
that.
Maybe the atomic bomb tests were like the beacons are lit. Gondar calls for aid.
I mean, could be.
And
I don't know.
We hypothesized about that years ago on Wild and Weird Radio, just in the podcast form, that when these, the Trinity site was blowing up all this stuff, that they had activity around that area. Yeah. We talked about it recently with the folks who worked the Trinity site, now coming up with all these bizarre cancers and trying to seek restitution.
Yeah.
And then, it's plausible that kind of was a lighthouse effect that sent off a beacon that said, hey, look at this big burst of energy and this civilization might have something that we could be interested in. And then they get here and they're like, oh, they're just blowing each other up. Never mind.
Right, exactly. And, you know, it goes right along with what Avi had originally said about Oumuamua, that it could have been, you know, coming in and taking a look and then it zips back out. And now we have this other thing coming in just a few years later. It's kind of, you know, you can see where people go with this. I can understand it. I really can. It's like, well, you know.
Tony asked, is a zoo train wreck interesting? Well, Maury Povich and Ricky Lake and
Geraldo Rivera. Let's not forget Geraldo.
Geraldo, and who was the other guy that was like that was the train wreck show? What was it?
Oh my gosh.
I can't remember his name.
Yes.
But his show was just
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. Those shows pulled so much ratings and made so many millions of dollars that I will answer that with an affirmative yes.
Yep. You better duck. You know, there's just some chairs going to go flying, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. What we got over here in the comments? We got people talking and
yes, we do. And I'm hitting some of those. Enzo says, how large would those shapes be to show up on those plates?
Well, that's a very good question.
Could it be how large they are? It could just be how bright the reflection was.
How reflective the surface is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we've also got Anita's here. What's going on, Anita? Good to see you. Hey. Then Jen says, I wonder with all these big earthquakes going on, if there will be some more activity. It is very possible. Historically, when there's big activity on the earth like that, there's things here to watch it. Now, I'm going to flash back over. We're going to go back to the space rock.
Okay. Space rock.
And because we're showing the photos of these objects, and these objects were modeled based off of what they were observing. This is also a picture of an object based off what they're observing.
Yeah, this is an actual.
Tell us what this picture is not, because a lot of people seem to think that rainbow bar is like the leading edge of a mothership.
Right.
They think that's not the case.
Right. That's not what you're seeing. That's not, you know, the Rainbow Express coming. That's each one of those dots is the object in transient. It's moving is what that is. It's showing it moving. So this is what your object looks like over here on the right, that little fuzzy thing. Now, you know, as of the first time that it was found, it wasn't showing too much outgassing or anything like that. So that's what we're watching for. Now, supposedly, they're saying now that it has started to show some outgassing, which means that it is probably a comet.
Right.
We're going to be watching that.
The weird thing is the outgassing is going in a direction they didn't anticipate.
Right. So we've got to watch it, and we got to know a little bit more about this thing before we can say one way or the other what it is and what it isn't. But
basically, the moral of the story here is that photograph is not of a ship that you would see coming from Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
No, it is not. Those colors are added just to show how it moved and what it was doing when it was moving those directions. Yes.
And each one of those dots is the same object, just in a different part of the sky with each photograph.
Is it a giant ball of space trash? Well, I mean, maybe. We don't know.
Let's see.
Someone had said that, you know, they've been here a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Bigfoot project.
Yeah.
That red and blue shifting and then the colors of the image. No, it's not red and blue shifting. They're actually going through with Photoshop or whatever editing software and using a dot sequence to mark each dot as how far it's moving over a period of time.
Yeah, that's what that is. That's just to show the movement.
Yeah. Rob Posey's in the house. What's going on?
See Spook Fest talking about the guy who is making.
Oh yeah, that kid that made the plastiline.
Yeah, plastiline. That's right, you guys. That's an interesting story. You know, follow it and you know, make your own decisions on that. I'm not sure about it yet. Still watching.
He made some videos today.
Yeah, he's around. He's in hiding right now.
Yeah, he just went dark and he popped back up today making some videos.
Yep. His lab looked amazing. You know,
well, I've been following him since the pandemic because he's been doing this for a few years now. And we started following him on TikTok, my wife and I, and we watched this probably like he's genuinely turning. He shows the whole process if you go back and watch his videos from and he is generating a fuel from plastic.
Yeah.
And it's working.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And, and he did say that he's been hounded basically by people who are not wanting him to release this. And so he's not in danger. He said he's just not going on social media, which I can totally get that. I mean, can you imagine? All right. So
Enzo brings up, yes, it is like a time-lapse photo to show the progression across the sky. Yeah.
Right.
I think that was comprised of like 40 or 50 photographs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot.
Terry said the aliens detected a large energy output. Maybe they broke the light speed barrier after checking. No, they're just blowing themselves up.
Yeah. Right. So everybody else here, what is your take on this? What are you buying on this one, and why? That's what I want to know. We're not here to tell everybody, you're crazy if you think it's a mothership. We didn't say that.
Right.
We're saying, could it be a mothership? Could be. We can't say it's not. That doesn't mean it is. And it's okay to have those conversations, and it's okay to think that it because one day it probably will be. Let's be real. We're not going to be here alone forever. And it does seem, like I said, the clock's ticking. We're being pushed into this disclosure arena, so to speak. Right. And, it is what it is. Where it's going, I couldn't tell you, but that's where we are.
So it sounds like Star Trek First Contact if the Vulcans had showed up a decade or two earlier.
Right? Yeah, it does.
Now, we've got some other stuff. We have, do you want to talk about what you had witnessed?
We're going to go into the witness, into all that, I think in the top of the hour.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to pull off some of this video here. I've got a little bit of video that was sent in over there from, where's it at? From Mid-Ohio, research there. And we're going to, Mid-Ohio Valley Unexplained Phenomena, that group,
Yep.
And we're going to look at some of that as well.
Bigfoot Project says it's possible, but what we know is speculation at this point. But I believe the mothership has already been here. Right.
I'm going to agree with that.
The way these earthquakes are hitting, it must be using a gravity ray.
I'll be right back.
All right, go for it. Enzo said what little cloud corona is coming off it is aimed towards the sun as it approaches, and that's unusual. Yeah, it is. The ejection is pointing at a direction that is essentially opposite from its movement, which is not the typical. Normally you would see these things like a trail, they're ejecting off to the rear. Sometimes they'll be off at an angle, but still kind of shooting the opposite direction they're moving. This is shooting the way it's coming, which is bizarre, but this is only the third one of these things we've ever seen. So, we don't know what the rules are for these.
I can't tell which way it's going. It should be, the tail should be flowing, away from the sun, right? So at this point, it's just a fuzzy little thing. And you have to ask, is it really that shape? Does it look like that? Or is that just the limitations of our optical, of our optics at this point? I don't know.
Jen said, I'd like to think it was a mothership, but it's probably not.
Right. Yeah.
Mid-Ohio says, I'm saying that they need to get a satellite in that's in orbit already and sling it around a planet.
They have. That's obvious thing. That's kind of what he said in his recent interview on News Nation. That's exactly what he said. The probe that they have, that's I believe it's around Jupiter. They're going to crash it into Jupiter because its life is pretty much over. And he's like, no, don't do that. We need to send it on a slingshot, and it can actually intercept this thing next year. So that's where they are with that. So they're actually going to possibly attempt to do this, at least if they, if he gets his way.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why you wouldn't
talk about the mothership, but nobody ever talks about the fathership. You just assume starships. Jesus, Tony.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Man. No, we actually, Rod and I were joking about that, talking about that line of dots. And, we're like, yeah, that if that was an alleged mothership and that's the size, you're talking each one of those dots is miles and miles wide. Well, you'd be having basically a spacefaring colony. Like everybody on the planet jumped on these things.
The new estimate to this thing is 12 miles, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we've seen it go up twice now, and it went from
doubled in size.
Yeah, it's 7 to 12 now. So yeah, it was 7 last week, and now it's 12. So it's big. It's really huge. And if that is, I'll play with Avi here. If that is a object of technological construction, I can't even imagine who could have built something that big. I mean, that's monstrous.
Terry, is something outside our universe yeeting rocks at us? I mean, that's what I would do.
It's possible, right?
Beth says, we have been having so much more weird sky stuff. You would have to live under a rock if you can't see what's happening.
No, you're right. There's nothing wrong about that. You're absolutely right. And, we've all seen some pretty weird stuff out there. So
what if this is just how long it takes for Albert Bender's World Contact Day experiment to get a response?
I mean, that's a possibility too, right? We just thought that it would be as fast as thought.
That's a rendezvous with Rama type idea. Slingshot Juno towards it. I love the idea. It's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
It could very well get us an amazing shot of what this thing looks like. I love all of you, but if they land in front of me, I'm going with them. Right?
So with all this that's going on, right in the middle of this, we get news that the UAP Disclosure Act is officially reintroduced to Congress. And there's some, interesting provisions that are in it, wouldn't you say?
Trackway's here. Good to see you back, brother. Yeah, it's how with everything else going on in the news.
Yeah.
The hearings are kind of getting pushed way down as far as traction goes.
Yeah, you're not hearing too much about it, but this was the latest, and submitted by Schumer with bipartisan backing from Senator Rounds and Gillibrand. It'll force the public disclosure of all UAP related records held by government agencies and private contractors. It assumes disclosure by default. The bill defines unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, as craft without known propulsion, transmedium vehicles, air, sea, space, objects showing lift-defying aerodynamics, laws, multispectral cloaking, biophysical effects on humans or the environment. So basically, not your typical drones is what they're saying. Yep, that's true.
It's going to be a very, very interesting hearing. I'm curious to see what witnesses they pull. I'm really interested to see how the narrative shifts the day of the hearing.
Yeah, I have no idea. We haven't heard much about it. All we've heard at this point is this, the Disclosure Act being thrown back in. And unfortunately, the wording in there about eminent domain is still in play.
Yep. I said they kept the eminent domain crap. They want to come and grab my UAP, and I'm not having it. Plus, I'm storing it at TW's house, and his address is.
Right, right, right. I mean, in theory, it sounds good, but when you really start looking into it, that eminent domain stuff kind of falls out, and it's like, man, why did you have to go there? Especially if if we're really talking about making this public, then we assume that it's not going to be some form of strategic, advantage at that point. So why would you want it? Why come grab it? Why take away someone's, little pet ET? Why do that? Right.
Right.
You're going to come take my extraterrestrial material that I've got. I paid good money for that, and there are people out there who do that.
Enzo said, so they didn't change it from the last 2 times it failed to pass. Why would it pass this time?
Yeah, I don't know. They think that they have better chances of no opposition this time. I don't know.
Well,
maybe
the reason it kind of got the nod this time is there's this a bunch of the senators and House members have left DC and they've gone to their respective states, and there's a handful of folks still in DC when they proposed this, and they put it through when essentially it was going to have a lot of people that were going to say yes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we'll see if it makes it. It was in there last time. It got stripped, and it'll probably get stripped again. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath. Let's put it that way.
Tony said, wait, the hearings are suddenly being sidelined after ex-intelligence whistleblowers raised the big stink and got Congress's attention in order to secure money for secret projects. Again, inconceivable.
Yeah, right. And now you've got one of the biggest reasons for more secrets. You've got people talking about motherships and entertaining the idea that, this stuff's real. And if you saw any of the that one footage that made the rounds where they were saying, there's these millions of these things all around the planet that they found, this material that's almost alive. What is up with that? So there's all kinds of chatter, but no one's really putting it all together and trying to make it make sense. What I can say, without going into too much speculation, is that it is one incredible coincidence that all of these things are occurring within this singular time frame in history.
Yep.
That seems odd to me.
So the next question on deck was, what are the dates for the next hearing?
We just know it's in September. I haven't heard an actual date.
I think it was, for whatever reason, I was thinking the 17th, but I'm not. I thought it was the week before Mothman Festival, and I was like, when I saw that, I was just like, oh well, looks like we're going to have a whole lot of fun to talk with people at the table about.
I know it's in September. I just don't know. That was the last that I heard anyway, because it was supposed to already have happened.
Hellbent Holler's here for the chatter.
Here for the chatter. The chatter is out there.
What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. You guys, if you get the chance, you need to check out some of the stuff that Jess and Joe have been getting ready for Small Town Monsters. There's been some awesome write-ups here recently for the new project that they were working on, and it's looking to be pretty freaking cool. Then we got Matt Carter says, I don't think they gave an update on the date yet. Just September. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trackway says, anyone see Joe Doyle lately? Is he still riding the car fender while Jessie plays her music? They did just come back from Smoky Mountain, so I'm sure that they had an absolute ball there. MK Ultra, howdy y'all. Are we doing it? We're doing it, baby.
We are. We're actually doing it. I'm not sure what it is, but we are doing it.
We are doing it. And it got whatever it is that you will see soon, got fully funded tonight, baby. So it's happening.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool.
Thanks for joining us, MK Ultra. You're awesome. Good to see you again. Bigfoot extravaganza of the season. That's right. It's the biggest Bigfoot festival on the East Coast, hands down.
Yeah. You guys had fun there.
Joe and Ron, have y'all seen anything about Skywatchers lately? Irritatingly, no. I've been purposefully searching them, particularly.
Isn't it interesting how quiet that's gone? It's so
well. I got that for whatever reason. I'm sitting there on Monday at work, and I was on my lunch break, and I was like, you know what? I was reading an article, and I saw somebody just use the term Skywatcher, not talking about them, just saying Skywatchers like in general.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden it registered. It's like, huh, I haven't heard a peep out of those guys. And they were churning out a video every 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden it went. But now Gary Nolan's been popping up.
Yep. Gary's back in the news.
And Gary has been talking about what he's doing with Skywatcher.
Yep.
But they haven't actually produced anything. Is it possible that they might be who's on deck to come and speak at the hearing?
Anything's possible.
But no, to answer the question directly, I have not. And I purposefully looked and could not find any kind of updates beyond some posts on X. I'm hearing stuff about big money getting involved and NDAs shut everything down. It's very possible.
That's what happened with, well, look, I mean, that's what happened with the whole metamaterial thing. You know, that's exactly the same thing that happened. And, you know, there's rumor that it's here, and then all of a sudden everything goes quiet, and then you find out it's behind, you know, closed doors. It's been sold off. It's the same kind of thing.
If you believe Reddit, Skywatcher may have been shut down from public release.
I don't think so.
Well, if NDAs, the NDAs could be doing that.
Well, I mean, if it's that, then they shut it down.
Right. Not necessarily been shut down. I don't think anybody came in and put a hammer on them. Right. But I would bet that they.
Yeah.
If there's NDAs and if there's all this other stuff going on, what do you want to bet they got one?
Maybe. Or they got something they think significant.
It'd have to be they thought they had stuff significant and posted it already. They get a ton of money off that YouTube following.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And he's already independently rich.
Yeah.
So,
well, they're trying to get nicey nice with the government. They want that. They want that particular new job opening when it comes open. You know, that's what they want, because they've demonstrated. You know, they were up there in New Jersey with the drones flying over, so they're already demonstrating. Look, we can do this. So,
says, yeah, they said venture capitalists were involved. It was inevitable if you want some, yeah. And on top of that, you know, with Gary Nolan being involved in Stanford University's involvement indirectly because of him, you know, that who's to say?
Yeah, who's to say? Who's to say?
Because I remember with the Soul Foundation, when they had their meeting, he had some grief from Stanford over it, and come to find out it wasn't faculty related. It was the marketing division that had beef with it because they wanted Stanford in association with everything else. And they wanted Stanford's name out front on the Soul Foundation's listing. So sure enough, he did it. But like
this right here, this
dog whistle got a lot of attention. That it did. Everybody started trying to make one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It sure did. They talked about it too much. They talked about it to the point to where you almost knew what they were talking about.
They
got a pretty good idea what they're talking about.
Right.
Okay. Looks like we got Dave back there in the back wing waiting off in the
Matt Carter says it's all about the money. Why have disclosure when you can slow drip tech, patent it, and profit for decades?
I mean, it's true.
Look at the medical industry. They do the exact same thing.
Yep.
They give samples of metamaterials to caveman companies to replicate it, or surprised when they hear back. Oh, right.
Yep.
All right. You ready to bring him in?
I guess. Bring him in.
Here comes our resident astronomer, Dave Roberts.
David, welcome to the show.
Brother?
Oh,
Duck and cover.
What's up, Dave? What's up?
not much, man. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. We just wanted to bring you in here to kind of help sift through some of the, the crap. I'll call it what it is, and
Notes.
get to the real, part of this. You watch the sky. You've seen it multiple times through really big lenses.
Oh, actually,
And yeah, exactly. So we know there's truth to this, and we know that there's fabrication to this and exaggeration. Is this a mothership?
I mean, no one can say definitively for sure.
See, that's the right answer. That's why you're here. So is there indications that this thing is, by some standard that we already recognize, natural? Let's put it that way.
It appears to be natural. I mean, the thing we have to get over, which you guys probably already discussed, is all the daggone clickbait. There's so much clickbait out there. I think you guys were already kind of touching on it. So, people are trying to make money. You get more the more clicks you get, the more money you make. And that's just kind of the way it is. And they're taking advantage of it. Loeb with Harvard, he's already talking about, I think one thing people have to remember is, like, even though these are very respected people, they're just as fallible as we are. Over history, we've had highly intelligent people, Einstein, Nikola Tesla, so on and so on, Hawking, that are way above our levels. But even that be said, they're just as fallible. They're still fallible like us. I mean, most of their stuff's based on theory. So again, they can't say one way or another if it is for sure. And I don't think Loeb is either. I don't think he's saying, "Oh, this is definitely a mothership."
He didn't. He never said that.
No,
he never said that. He said we need to have this conversation, and he's right. We need to have this conversation, but we need to have a conversation and not have to worry about it making headlines the next day saying professor says alien motherships are coming to attack Earth. This is nonsense. This is where we don't need to be. We can't progress if we're going to do this.
But the unfortunate thing is the media has always ran on buzzwords, and even if that means lying.
Yeah.
So,
it's a half truth. You got a real crap sandwich here where, Avi did present this hypothesis, but he did not unequivocally say, here comes Zorp and Cargon.
Right.
He didn't have to, because they're already here. But
Right.
you get the point.
True.
Like, he
That's
didn't
true.
implicitly say what all these clickbait articles are stating. And Dave, we did briefly touch it, but like, if you want to beat the clickbait to death, absolutely, my friend. We left a lot of that for you.
Anita just asked the ETA on, I believe it's October 29th. I believe is what it was.
So right before Halloween.
And we're not going to be able to directly observe it, so to speak, because it's going to be on the other side of the sun. Earth's going to be on one side of the sun. It's going to be coming on the back side of the sun. But we will have some observation.
But I heard that Uri Geller has already remote viewed it.
I don't know. You never know.
I don't know either. I'm just saying that's also out there. So,
Well, the one thing I'm sorry.
No, please take off.
Well, the one thing I wanted to touch on, I'm not going to go through all of it because there's just too much information. You don't have enough show time until 1, 2 a.m. But I took some notes here because I'm better with notes than I am just trying to remember all this. But the timeline with deep space asteroid detection in general. So human beings, we've been able to detect asteroids since around 1801, roughly. That's when the first one was detected, which was Ceres. But obviously that was old telescopes. They were just lucky. They just got lucky and was able to spot some of these, right? And there were some more discoveries. Excuse me, turn my phone off here. So there were some more discoveries like around 1890s, 1990s. Obviously we've had discoveries, but let's see here. Let me find one of the best notes here. So basically, let's just go to the 21st century. So advanced ground-based telescopes and space-based missions such as NUASI, which I'm not as familiar with that one, have further refined detection capabilities, right? So we've got that going on.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah. And let's see here. So basically our methods to detect asteroids have advanced significantly over just the past 20 years roughly. And we have the new Rubin Observatory, but I like to compare it to planet hunting, and there's quite a difference because asteroids are moving pretty fast, but they're much smaller. And then you have the planet detection for exoplanets, which there's 5 methods for detecting those, and it's like gravitational microlensing.
Yeah.
They have a transit method, a radial velocity. There is direct imaging. Like if it passes in front of the sun, if it's close enough and passes in front of the sun, they can spot it, right? They can see like a little black dot. And then you have astrometry, which is actually I can give you numbers in those too. So 5 planets have been discovered with astrometry. That's not a whole lot. You've got 83 planets with direct imaging, 1,130 planets with radial velocity, 4,427 planets with transit, and 247 with gravitational microlensing. Now that's a whole nother discussion to go into all those details. But
so wait, I'm going to stop you. How many have had visual? What did you say it was?
Let me go back for you. I'll tell you. So
Bigfoot, Littlefoot, multiple blessings. Thank you. Thank you.
So direct imaging is 83.
83.
Yeah. And
the rest of it is basically non-visual, multi-sensors, but non-visual, right?
Yeah. And the bulk of them are transit. So basically when they're transiting, there's actually anybody can go view it. It's free. NASA has it on their website. Basically, you can actually use.
We don't trust NASA around here.
I know, but
no, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Respect you can. It's just planet detection. If they have a system like I can take my C-STAR telescope, point it at an object, and I can, based on the data that they provide for the numbers, I could detect the wobble. So that's basically with a transit. They see the wobble went across, and they can detect it when it's transiting because the sun will dim and brighten, or the star.
Yeah, right.
So, but with asteroids, the comparison is like the vastness of space. They're so much smaller, yet in a way they're closer, so to speak, because they're actually in our belt. But like now the new Rubin Observatory has already detected like a bunch of them that we didn't even know were there. So we have potentially more planet killers, but they still have to get the numbers on. It'll take months to years for them to get those numbers to see if we have any more. But like the other thing I want to bring up too is like, all right, this is Atlas 3. It is the 3rd interstellar meteorite, comet, asteroid, whatever it is.
Object.
It's coming towards us. Now, we've only had the technology to detect something like that. Not for very long. In the number of years, I don't have an exact number, but I won't say 20, 30, maybe 50 years, roughly, at the most.
Yeah.
So in the recorded history of what we could record, that is, one thing I'm hearing all these scientists, well, some of the scientists are discussing it, not all of them though, is what about all the past 2,000, 3,000, million years? We probably have had many more interstellar objects that we can't even count. It's just that what we've been able to detect, we're just all of a sudden we're noticing. It's kind of like the weather, for example. Now the weather is getting worse, obviously, we all know that, but over the years, like there's a certain number of earthquakes every year, for example. So when the media gets a hold of it, the scare tactics, the clickbait, they report more and more of it when it's actually it might be pretty average from year to year. Now I do think that's changing because of the solar maximum and then the pulling on the Earth. So there are a few more always during solar maximum, right? So
the ring currently the Ring of Fire has set a record this year based off the history that we've been tracking.
Yeah.
This year has been more active on the Ring of Fire than any year that we've recorded.
Yeah. So basically, my point of bringing up the planets, the transits, detecting the asteroids, the challenges, the vastness of space, and seeing all this. These things have probably been interstellar have been coming into our solar system for millions of years. Yeah. And all of a sudden now it's exciting, it's new, it's like, oh my gosh. And I really just the science tells me that it's something we just are not familiar with. It's a new discovery. It might be a new science for all we know.
Right.
Human intelligence hasn't discovered everything that exists in space. Most most astrophysicists will tell you there's more out there than what we probably are aware of.
So we've watched this thing now grow twice, maybe 3 times at this point. Ron had mentioned that the most recent metrics that he saw was 12 miles across.
It's huge.
That's big. Now, there's also another large object, and Trackway, whether he meant to or not, kind of touched on it. There's another large object in our solar system that was also detected recently. And this is another planet. Have you seen that information?
Yeah.
So talk about that a little bit and how because it seems preposterous that there was a planet, a 9th planet, that we've just missed, especially the size of this thing, because the alleged size is wacky. It's
not been confirmed. That's one misnomer to this whole thing. I mean, there's more clickbait out there on this supposed 9th planet. They've not actually directly observed it. All of these notice is they've noticed the pull. There is a pull out there where a 9th planet should be, and I do think there is one out there, because again, I mean, when you think of the distance, also the darkness, this planet's not getting much light. It's going to be a very cold planet, or more likely a gas giant, more unlikely, and it's going to be hard to see. It'd be like trying to find the needle in a haystack. So they're basically going 100% off of gravitational pulling on that. It's the only thing they can go off of, really.
So basically, what you just said is that Zachariah Sitchin was 100% correct.
He did say that. He did say that. We found Nibiru. Congratulations! I will now go find those crows, Joe. We gotta
do something.
Gotta do something. They're not gonna.
He found a couple more dwarf planets too, which might be what you're referring to.
No, this is that was the Nibiru thing, and Sitchin was a joke, but the planet, it is everything that I've seen so far has pointed to what you were saying with it being a gas giant.
Yeah.
And the gravitational pull with this thing is gigantic, and they're saying it's around the same kind of a pull that they observe with Jupiter.
Yeah.
So they're anticipating that this gas giant could be in the same size
or bigger.
Or bigger.
Yeah.
Than Jupiter.
Now, is this thing out past the Oort cloud, or where's this thing at?
Well, the funny thing is, the Oort clouds, I mean, they're technically minor galaxies,
right.
Which probably at some point, I can't even give you a timeline. I mean, multiple millions, maybe billions of years. At one point, there were probably 2 separate galaxies that in the Milky Way at some point, this like the Whirlpool galaxy is sucking in its neighbor galaxy. At some point, the Milky Way probably sucked those 2 galaxies in. So, but it's going to be out past the belt. Well out past that. I mean, I can't even really give you a number. I don't know. I mean, it's just
well, it makes sense, because there's always been this theory that there was another planet out there. Someone had said it earlier, Planet X, that it does come close to the Oort cloud from time to time, and that may throw some of these objects in toward Earth, especially some of these bigger cometary bodies, etc. And it could have been, it could have been responsible for what did the dinosaurs in back in the day. We don't know. So
basically a big giant gravitational slingshot.
I think most likely that Planet 9 or Planet X has probably been, it may not have originated in our current solar system. It may have originated from one of those, maybe directly out of the Oort cloud in a solar system that existed then. It may have been a rogue planet at some point, and then at some point when the planets in our solar system, it got captured, and that's why it's so far out. But it may have helped our planets.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, gravitational capture, it occurs. We don't really even know how big our solar system is. Like Dave said, we can only see so far.
Dave, we've got a question for you from Tony. Didn't they account for Mr. Wobbly Planet 9 with OF201?
I would have to look that one up. I know what he's talking about, but I don't know the details on that one exactly. here. I might be able to find something on that.
Well, Dave, what do you think about this whole discovery of Dr. Villarroel's, hundreds of thousands of potential technical artifacts, objects that are in geosynchronous orbit around the Earth? Is there any merit to that? Can we explain those away? Let's put it that way.
Scary as hell, really.
Yeah, it is. And can we explain them away?
I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows. I don't think anybody. I mean, at this point, I don't think there's been enough research. Now, before I say what I was getting ready to say, now there are people that might actually already know, right?
Right.
But they're not going to tell us.
Right. Exactly. And there's a good chance that they do already know, and they've known for a very long time, right? That's what you're getting at.
Well, what I sent you earlier, I mean, I know this has been it's been a conspiracy theory for umpteen years, but
yeah, you're talking about the Black Knight, aren't you?
Yeah, but there's been some more information coming on that. There's been some reputable scientists. There's been some astronauts that have come forward and said, hey, they've seen it. So, I mean, I think something's there because they've been detecting that thing since the 1950s.
Yeah.
And it's how big they said it was. It was like several football fields large or something.
According, that's what we had on there last week. I tracked down the where it had originated from, the original source, and it was more or less kind of what we're getting with Grush. So and so told me about this, and it's a secondhand witness kind of account that got thrown into I think it was Kehoe's book, and it just went from there. And even Keel quoted it. So it just went everywhere. But here's the thing: what's funny about this is it literally could be something like that, couldn't it? Now, because we are dealing with a potential for these things to be something real pretty extraordinary, and that's not hype. That's actual science that they've used to try to actually say, look, these things are only visible in the glare of the sun. When the Earth's umbra is over it, the shadow of the Earth is over it, they're not there. So
yeah,
that's kind of significant.
I think Stephen Hawking said it best, though. His voice said it. His voice said it best.
Wrong. That's wrong.
It was terrible.
What's wrong with you?
Oh, God.
You insensitive jerk.
Man,
yes,
man. But
make fun of him.
He basically talked about, here we are, we're advertising ourselves out there into space, right?
Yeah.
And if we wanted to have an invasion, this is not exactly how you said it, but basically if we wanted to have an invasion, the best way to do it is keep advertising, morons, because eventually you're going to take something that might be warlike, and that's how we might get a visitor.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's how Zorp and Cargon got here. Back in the day, they sent nudes into space with like messages that said, come visit Earth, we're naked.
Mm-hmm.
And then
right.
they showed up, and here's Zorp and Cargon. They're like, let's party, guys.
Yeah. But so the weird thing to me, man, is that we've got these things occurring all at the same time. And I think that is kind of playing into the paranoia, the hype, and the clickbaitiness. Everyone's different now, man. Everything changed after 2020. Everyone's anxious. Everyone's living in a constant state of, the sky's falling. It's absolutely ludicrous. And when you don't live in that state and you try to tell them, look, the sky's been falling for freaking 20 million years. There's nothing new here that's taken place, except for every now and again, there's some really cool discovery like this one. And this one gets pushed under the rug because all this other crazy stuff has taken place.
Well, Anita just asked, I think she wasn't in here earlier when we were talking about this part. She asked, is it just the Black Knight, or are there more objects like it? And we do have a set of 3D renderings that were supplied in this paper that's being submitted for peer review. Here's what the objects look like.
Based upon the reflective specularity models, this is pretty close to what they can come up with.
Yeah.
because these things would kind of glint, they would, so they're orbiting, they're actually turning in their orbit. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
So who knows what these are?
So what do you make of those shapes, Dave?
I mean,
because you do a lot of astrophotography,
yeah.
and you know more about how they would come up with these shapes than pretty much anybody that we talk to.
I mean, all shapes and sizes. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, it could be.
Right.
I mean, it could be anything. Just large space rocks. I mean, it could be anything, man. There's no way to really just to pinpoint what it actually could be. I just can't give you a good educated answer on that one, really.
Right. Yeah.
I said we aren't funding nudie space pics, right? Yeah. The universe doesn't want that. No one does. No, but they did that already. That golden disc that was sent out, it did have 2 anatomically correct images, and so technically it was already done.
Of course, we got to remember too, that thing it just left the solar system a few years ago, so it's. I mean, it's going to be between where it's left our solar system to before it would even reach another, solar system, for example, or whatever. I mean, unless there's actually some beings out there that are capable of traveling in space, and they happen to be in that area, the chances of it being captured by the alien species or some sort is really, really low. I'm not saying it's impossible. Plus, we don't know how they travel. If they do travel, because there's the whole thing we talk about here on Earth, and basically it's like these UAPs, if they're interdimensional, that's the other, obviously. So we don't know how they're actually traveling.
Right.
Right.
There's just so many what ifs. There's just no really good way to pinpoint it. It's all conjecture, basically. That's what I think.
All right, I'm getting ready to grab a link to this paper for peer review.
I just put it up there, and it's also in the comments, so you guys can take a look in the comments. And while you're there, leave one, because that helps too. Last week's show did really well. After the show was aired, by the way, because of the comments. The more comments, the more the algorithm kicks up, the more everything works for us.
Beam out to space, hundreds of global cable news channels, wars on planet of the primates, see who's a knocking, right? That's, I mean, because let's face it, those radio waves and all of that are moving way faster and way farther than what that gold disc is ever going to
go. Yeah. And I had seen on how far our radio signals have actually gone.
Yeah.
I mean, they've not even reached Proxima Centauri yet.
Yeah.
And that's the only planetary system that's within reach of us right now anyway. So,
well, the problem is that it could be intercepted by an advanced scout mission, or something like that. Your basic Starfleet stuff, right? These ships that are out there, and who knows, maybe that's what those geosynchronous things are. I don't know. Oh, the link is a 404.
Link's a 404 error, so I'm trying to find a. Let's see.
Well, that's bizarre.
Right?
Yep. Publication. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, we've got it. So hang on. It's not letting us post it, though. That's weird. All right. We'll keep trying to find that. So
you and Dave hang out. I'm trying to find this.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying, Dave, is there's a chance. This is probably the most, I guess, prominent chance that this could be real, that there could actually be, and I'm not talking about obvious giant, mothership thing. I'm talking about Dr. Villarroel's research project, that if this is real, that this is big. Like, this is monstrously huge, right? I mean, this is earth-shattering news. Not even, I'm not even exaggerating. It really is history making.
Yeah, what's I think the big thing that will be like Oumuamua, as we recall, when it came in, it slowed down and sped up, which is,
Right.
I mean, I don't, I mean, that could be gravitational pull when it's coming around. It might have gotten pulled.
Sure.
And you know, there's also the whole thing of dark matter as well, because that's not really well known either. They don't, I mean, I had the astrophysicist at the Clay Center. She was actually at our conference this past weekend for the astrophotography conference, and she was doing talking about pulsars and you know, neutron stars. That's which is her specialty and stuff. But like neutron stars obviously have this gravitational pull, and they do believe there's some kind of dark matter interaction in it, where some of that's at, because you know, so because that obviously these will have a huge pull. Now I don't know if that's going to affect Oumuamua coming in, but
Sure.
the one thing I said about this one that's coming though, this Atlas 3 though, they were detecting signs of cometary activity, basically meaning it had a coma or a cloud of gas and dust. They are seeing that.
Yeah. I saw they said it was starting to form.
Yeah.
And the most interesting thing about that is, you know, of course, you're going to get your conspiracy theorists now who are going to say, oh, yeah, sure they did. You know, after all this, you know, da, da, da. So we're really going to be at the whim of whoever puts out the most believable version of the truth here, I think, is what it's going to come down to.
As much as I want to believe it could be some kind of a ship or something, or maybe I would
rather not believe it, because I'll say it again. This is 12 miles, Dave. Can you imagine the technological civilization that it takes to make something that big?
Yeah. And that's why I think it's a natural thing. I believe it's some type of rock, and it's basically a new kind of a new science for us. I kind of think it's what it is, because we don't know everything that's out there. I mean, the galaxy is larger than we could even possibly imagine. We can't even fathom how large a galaxy is. I mean, let alone the universe. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
And it's just like there's. I mean, we have, as long as the Earth is still here, we haven't blown one another up. For the next thousands of years, there's going to be things that's going to be discovered. Maybe new elements. Who knows what? And they may go to Mars and find a new element Mars we didn't know that actually existed. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's true. You've got you know, the potential that we're dealing with a new science, man. That's how science works. You know, you don't know everything. You don't go into something and think that, you know, you already know the answer to it. When we do that, that's when we get in trouble. And I think that is kind of what Avi was saying as well. You know, if this thing, you know, if it does some of these maneuvers, that it may not be a comet. If it's not, then what are we going to do? Because there's literally nothing we can do. It's 12 miles long. But at the same rate, you know, here he is saying, look, if, you know, we need to start having these conversations. We can't just start laughing at this stuff. We can't put it into the immediate skeptic bin just because we don't want it to be. One day it's going to be.
You know, don't think that, like, when I take these nebula photos or galaxy photos, particularly the nebula ones, because they're much closer to the galaxies. But
yeah,
I mean, I do what they call in astrophotography called pixel peeping. You go and you zoom real close in. You're looking for hot pixels, red or you know, or the blues for the colder one. But anyways, I'll zoom in. I mean, I'm always kind of looking and scanning, like, to see if there's anything there that shouldn't be there, that might be unexplainable. You know. Now, never seen anything. Obviously, I don't know if anybody really has. I mean, you can mistake a pixel as a.
Well, I mean, I've seen you find some things live on site.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. We found some very interesting things, as I recall, out there in the field down near the TNT area.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the new link we dropped in does work.
Okay.
No 404s.
There we go.
Then
Well, that should work.
Let's see.
Yeah, the thing that really gets me though more than anything is the speed of this Atlas 3 and Oumuamua, just how fast it's coming through the system. You know, if we had a spacecraft that could travel that fast, Proxima Centauri or B in particular wouldn't really seem that far off. Manner speaking, you know.
Right.
D7 Max says in the writings of the Jewish Kabbalah, it is referred to as the Merkaba, the vehicle of the Adonai. The Merkaba is also like it. There's some descriptors though. I'm curious to see if this object would match some of those descriptors, because the way it's described in Kabbalah and in the Talmud, and in Ezekiel's encounter, it was more of a chariot of fire. The Merkaba is also it's a word with multiple meanings, you know, as we've discussed before about lexicons, way back. It could also just be a spiritual type of ascension as well as a physical craft. So the space rock would have to have some very, very peculiar features to, I think, classify as the Merkaba.
All right. Well,
I've got some very interesting things at 30 FPS.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, speaking of interesting things, let's go over some of the other weird thing that happened over the weekend.
Better late than never, Juliana. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome. You're just in time for the local rundown on some of the sightings that took place. One of these sightings I actually had.
I was curious about this. Okay. I was when I was reading your comment, I was looking at your thumbnail, D-Mac. That Ron,
I see it.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I see that.
That's very cool.
Purple.
Hey Ron, I was to tell you guys that actually this past weekend they weren't sightings, but it's really cool. Kind of to help you kick it off. When we were doing our observations there, or our astrophotography there on Saturday night, we had two events happen. It was really neat. Number one, Milky Way. When I went down there, I got out of the car and looked up, and I was like, "Crap! It's still cloudy out because it was cloudy earlier, and I hadn't seen clear skies in so long like that." And I realized, oh my gosh, it's the Milky Way. You could see the brown and the blues. It was amazing. That was one of the best nights I've ever seen Milky Way.
That's awesome.
Within a few minutes later, we had, because there's two meteor showers going on right now.
Right.
And one of the meteors had a magnesium tail, which was green, coming out with a long green streak of a tail when it lit up. That was really cool. And then on top of that, well, actually, our astrophysicist that was there from Clay Center, she has never seen a meteor with a magnesium tail on it before, with her own eyes. And it happened to be right above her head when it appeared. So if she just would look up, she would have seen it, but it was so fast she missed it. She was a little upset about that. But the coolest part was, initially we thought something had gone supernova. Towards the direction of Arcturus, there was a bright flash in the sky. The sky lit up really bright, and then it dimmed. And but of course, if it's going to be a supernova, it's going to stay lit for quite a while, as you know. See, as the Betelgeuse blows, we're going to see it for a while. But what we realized was, I've never seen this before. It was actually a meteor from the meteor shower hitting our atmosphere, but it was direct on, or edge on. So
wow.
So we saw it as it hit the atmosphere, and it lit up, broke up, and then dimmed.
Wow.
I've never seen that before. It was the coolest thing ever.
That is a really good explanation. Swamp gas. Anyway, no, I'm kidding.
So
that was
Big
really
Rock
good, actually.
You missed it.
Punched right at the windshield, and that's what that was. Straight on.
I've seen a green meteor. It was so trippy. Yeah, the magnesium based meteors are nuts. The very first meteorite that Rowan ever saw was one that was low and slow and bright green, and it freaked him out. It was the coolest experience we got to have together so far.
They're beautiful.
Lo, the cult of NASA shall deceive them. Beware, thus saith the Blue Beam Messiah.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I don't even know. So anyway, I'll tell the story here now. So it was Saturday night. I was coming home, and we had been in Huntington all day, and Maria was driving, and we were coming across the what's the name of that area there?
Montrose, McCorkle
Yeah, it's
Bridge.
right. It's right before. Well, it's right after Montrose, isn't it? Yeah. Or no, it's right before Montrose. Before Montrose.
Oakwood exit.
Yeah.
Oakwood's after it. He's going back towards
Yeah,
Charleston.
I'm going towards Charleston. So it's
So
before.
he's between McCorkle and Montrose.
Yeah, it's right before Montrose.
I think he was every
And
50, maybe.
so as this is, there's this massive electrical storm that's taking place.
Mhm.
And we started seeing that driving in all the way from back in Huntington. You can see the sky starting to light up ahead of you. And the closer we got, the more active the storm was getting. And it's just watching the lightning, And as we come right around, there's like that little curve area there. Literally right in front of us, there's a light there that comes up. Like a little light, and it gets really big and it's gone. And it's like as the lightning flashes, you can see this thing, and it's behind the clouds. We can clearly see it's behind the clouds. And we both saw it. We both, did our what'd you see kind of thing and described it perfect. Both of us described it perfect. But I'm sitting there just amazed, like holy crap, that was amazing, da 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 da, just flipping out, right? And Maria says, there's 11 minutes missing. I'm like, what? And she was right. We had the GPS was on, and I'm thinking, well, maybe this electrical storm messed with our GPS. I don't know. Something weird happened, and no, it was right. We were missing about 11 minutes. I actually made a little rendering of what that sort of looked like because it's kind of hard to explain. But so I filed the report with you guys first, and then I sent it off to Stan. And Stan also said that morning up his way there was a similar type sighting of a glowing ball thing. That'll probably be in his next report. You'll probably get to see that. But this is what it looked like for us. See that? That's about how fast it was too. It was like maybe just a little bit slower than that, but yeah, it's kind of like that. Let's blow it up.
They kill the purple haze.
Yeah, kill the purple haze. All right, so kind of like that. And what's wild about it is, immediately I'm like, well, it wasn't a meteorite because it gets bigger as it comes toward us, and yeah, I don't know what it was, but what I decided to do after that was to get on our group and send out, a notice. Has anybody seen anything? Please report it. I'm not soliciting people for stories and for, to come out and aggravate you. I need to know this because there could have been other people who saw this, right? Well, what's funny about it is we did get some witnesses from the area. We got witnesses all over the area actually that night, all the way into Athens, believe it or not. But I had a witness who said that they basically saw a bright white, almost chrome object, brighter than they'd ever seen. Said it was facing east, moving faster than anything that they knew, like an airplane. From what they said, heading out of the south to the northeast and zigzagging. So there's the weird zigzag pattern. These are the things we look for in these type of reports. Those are significant because we know planes don't do that, right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
I should ask Joe, not just Dave. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's the Air Force.
Yeah, right. But what's significant about this is she said it didn't have really a shape. It was, not a shape like a plane or anything. It was a light, and it was doing that zigzag thing. I will say about Dave, because Dave, you saw something very similar to that in Davis.
Oh yeah,
back in 2020. So anyway, they sent that information in. That was on the 25th around looks like 4:30 or so. So that was a daylight one. This one is at Lashmeet, West Virginia, I believe. This was 2300 hours. This is on the 25th. Seen a light going southeast direction, stopped and went to a northeast direction, very high in the atmosphere, almost looked like the ISS, but I know it can't change directions like this did. There are multiple people who saw this as it occurred as well. Another one, seen something last night. We know what satellites look like, but we saw a really bright light way too high up to be a helicopter. This thing was going southwest direction. Then it just went north. Up to that point, I thought it was a satellite. This one's from Calhoun. Around 9 p.m., watched a light travel east to west in the southwest eastern sky. It flew faster than a plane was flying. There's a plane flying in the area, and it flew faster than the plane. Also noticed that there were several satellites overhead. So we have satellite distinction, plane distinction. Doesn't look like those. I have an app that helps with that as well. The light would fade in and out like a cloaking device or something wasn't working correctly. So it was kind of doing that pulsing thing that we've seen them do before, right? Another one. This is in the Colton region around 9:30. Out back having a smoke, saw a meteorite burn up, then a bright light, not a helicopter or plane, just very bright, high up, but below the plane, flying higher above it. Could see the plane's lights. No sound on this thing, though. Nothing, just cruised along, whitish blue looking. Looks to be not too huge, but big enough to tell it wasn't a helicopter, drone, etc. Weather was nice here, no rain yet. Our case took place at midnight. Those cases took place before. There's another one from Tyler County that took place, which could have been a meteorite, but we actually, what's that?
I was up at Blackwater Falls this past weekend, so I wasn't too terribly far from some of this.
Yeah. There was things happening this weekend. That's what I got. I mean, there was a lot of things taking place this weekend.
We did have a sighting. I didn't interrupt you. We did have some kind of weird sighting up when I was at Blackwater Falls, though. We did see something going over that was fairly low in the atmosphere, and it was just bright white. Now, it could have been a very low orbit satellite. That's the thing. But there was something going over like that from all of us that were doing astrophotography and astronomy. We're looking at like that's weird, and we're all like that doesn't make sense.
Oh, really?
So again, it's not a definitive sighting, not as quite as realistic as, or what's the word I'm looking for? Not realistic, not quite as like the ones you're discussing right now. But
yeah,
it was questionable.
So LR asks, could it have been something related to the regional technology park, Ron? That's right in that area. That would have been up to your right off the interstate.
It would have been. I've never seen anything like this before. That's all I can tell you. I don't know what that was.
There's a rumor
in the technology park. Like I have to go up there periodically because we have a lab there. Not Wild and Weird, but the division I work for. And there's office buildings and some weights and measures equipment. And there's a few software server labs and stuff. And Dave probably knows of some more stuff up there too.
Yeah. Joe, you might know some people that can help confirm this or not, but I have heard a rumor that there might be a second drone in Charleston. Obviously, we know the one drone that exists currently.
There's no one was flying a drone in this thunderstorm.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just saying for other
Yeah, for
Oh,
other sightings, but yeah, I've never seen anything like this. This was a single, and here's the part: I couldn't tell if it was lit or if it was lit by the lightning, and that's why it kind of seemed like it disappeared. Is because the flash stopped and it's gone, which would have been pretty much right over top of us at that point. But I don't know, man. I don't know what that was. It was
Now,
big.
with the missing time situation, were there other vehicles on the road around you guys?
See, that's the weird part. That's the weird part. You don't notice this until after it's done. After it was done, yeah, there was cars. There was, some behind us, and not very much though. It's very sparse traffic that night. There wasn't a lot of traffic. And before that, I couldn't tell you because, not really paying attention to it at that point,
Well, yeah, because you weren't driving.
Right,
Too bad
exactly.
Too bad you weren't running your meteor to see if you were getting, or your meteor. Too bad you weren't running your meter to determine if you were getting like a 1.6 or something weird like that.
Yeah, we weren't, no investigating. We were coming back home from, they had the hot dog festival up there in Huntington this past weekend. We went up there and spent a day, and that was fun. And then, coming back home, this is what happens. There's no weird talk before it, nothing like that. We had seen a couple of flashes in the sky, but those were lightning, and there was lightning between the clouds, and it looked like little rods of light. It was kind of cool. Like, they were neat, but there wasn't anything like this. I don't know what that was.
Think about what that, Ron, too, is like going to the portal theory. Like, you look at Skinwalker Ranch and other areas on the Earth that has a high, basically a lot of lightning storms.
Yeah.
It's powerful enough. If there's something going on, again, this is just absolute theory.
Yeah.
If there are interdimensional beings, ships coming through, if a certain type of storm or something could cause the portal to open up, and then maybe that's what you're seeing.
Right. I've heard people say that before. Yeah. That's the energy that's put out or whatever could theoretically do something like that. And we're talking about things that we don't even know exist. But yeah, there was something put off some light, man. I don't know. And then that weird thing happened, and I thought, honestly, well, it's just the GPS is doing weird things, because it did something weird to us on the way back from Kecksburg. For whatever reason, all the way back from Kecksburg, the GPS thought we were miles away from the highway, and we'd disconnect it from the phone and plug the phone back up, and it would do the same thing. When we got down into I think when we got somewhere around Huntington, it stopped. It started working normal again, but don't know what happened there either. I think it was just a weird signal kind of thing going on. Never seen it before, so I can't say. I don't know. But I kind of thought, well, maybe that was repeating, something was up with the GPS, but then no, it checked out. That's what time we got home is what time it said we would get home on the ETA. So I don't know.
One thing too, it's like, I think always kind of like to keep us grounded and to remind viewers, like, I know we have a pretty tight little group here with Wild and Weird, and everybody that's involved. It's like, like when we're obviously seeing these sightings, if we see sightings, we know there's something, it's not natural, obviously, like what happened to you just now, Ron. And then there's the other avenue too. Like, we know, for example, there's around 8,000 satellites that are currently orbiting the Earth. So obviously that's 8,000 things. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, that's all right. Let Ron do that.
LW, thanks, brother. We appreciate you, man. Have to get used to your new start time of 5 p.m. Yep, that is our start time if you're on the West Coast, which is where LW is currently. He's out there perusing around the Pacific Northwest at the moment, I believe, right? Hope you guys are having a good time and enjoying the summer with the family. Many, many thanks. And here's for the couple that we've missed along the way.
Believe the lie, y'all. Anyway, Matt Carter said March 13th, 2020, 8:35, saw a huge glowing light moving like a falling leaf in reverse coming up from the woods behind the house. Still have the email sent to Stan. I probably actually heard that one. That's that falling leaf pattern. That's the thing that Keel talked about as well. That's something. But I even went as far as to think on this, and I'm like, ball lightning. Could that have been ball lightning, guys? We can't say no. There was electrical storm, electrical activity,
Yeah.
right?
And could it have been some other kind of electrical anomaly beyond ball lightning?
Right. Plasma,
Yeah, just the way it's behaving within the cloud. It's hard to say, but the way you had described it originally was almost that it was like being backlit.
It almost looked like it was backlit. It didn't look like it was lit up because it was too dim. But could it have been behind layers of clouds and just looked diffused, like it did in the 3D rendering, for example? That's how that worked out, because I diffused that area with the clouds and put a light behind it. Well, looky there. There's what it looked like. But, I don't know. It didn't look to me like this was a lighted thing.
Did you guys see the space station's photo of the lightning that was coming up?
Yeah.
Actually, that was
yeah, broke the record.
Yeah.
That was intense. It was a really, really cool photograph.
That was a lucky once in a lifetime.
Yeah. My neighbor is a pilot now, and he was actually doing a flight, and his son's with him, who's a little bit older than Rowan, and they were watching a thunderstorm from above. They were flying over it, and we're seeing the lightning kind of shooting up, and he was, talking to him about that. It was pretty cool. He's into the UFO phenomena too, and he's got his eyes peeled. So if he ever sees anything, he's going to be letting us know.
No, that's good. That's good.
Ashley Hill says, doesn't ball lightning only occur close to the ground?
I mean, like we said, it would be something absolutely unknown, as far as it goes. But I can't say it wasn't, because there was so much electrical activity that was taking place. So I don't know what it was, guys. I'm just saying, if I'm a skeptic, I'm going to say that could have been ball lightning, but I don't personally believe that's what it was. But, that's, I don't know what it was. And I can't rationalize or, anything with it, with the whole missing time aspect of it. There's nothing there. I don't remember anything being gone. I don't remember anything weird. I remember after she said that, and I looked out the road, and like I told Joe, there was, there's sparse cars. And I'm like, well, you would think there'd be more cars, but not really, because they've had all that bridge incident. And, a lot of people were trying to avoid that whole area for like a week. So can't really say, after you have something like this.
Everybody was taking 60 in the boulevard to get around.
Yeah. Yeah, they were. And it's like every time, you have a situation like this, especially if you're a researcher and you understand, you're trying to remember stuff, and you're like, well, I can't, because I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't in investigation mode. I was I'm going home, I'm going to play Fortnite a little bit before I go to bed mode. That's what I was in.
Hey, Ron, I'm going to send you something here you might want to share with the folks that are watching it regarding ball lightning.
Ball lightning was your nickname in high school? That's a cool name.
I was fast. No, not really. That's
funny.
But there was the Alberta, Canada, the ball lightning that was seen. This was,
yeah. What did you find out about that?
Actually, I mean, it appears to be it was legit. I just sent the link to Ron. I didn't know if he wanted to play it for
the one in the field. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
So that's real.
They have pretty much. I can't say they confirmed it, but they pretty much believe that actually is legit. I mean, I thought
it was legit when I showed it to you guys. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's because it looks like, but here's the thing. Is that ball lightning? Because if that's ball lightning, then ball lightning can get as big as a house.
Yeah. Because that ball was allegedly gigantic.
It was.
Yeah. If this is real.
Now it's just.
But now here's something else we also have to consider, which Ron, you and I talked about this when we first saw it. If this is a solid ball of plasma, technically it could have been yay big, but the amount of light that it is emitting could have just overdriven the sensor on that camera because it was a digital camera.
Maybe.
So,
I mean, it looks pretty darn huge out there. I'm going to see if I can share.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm going to see if this will work. I don't know. We'll try this. See if I can do share screen.
I do agree with Joe on a part of that too, because whether it's using a DSLR camera or a cell phone in this case, at least what they used. I mean, the glow of it is quite. I mean, it's quite blown out, but I don't think it's quite as large as what it was that we saw in the video, but it was definitely big. I mean,
well, for example, if you look up pictures of welders welding,
yeah,
and you look at them that have no filters applied, and you see what that looks like the spark looks like it's absorbing the person.
Yeah,
but in reality, it's that big.
But it was definitely large, though. I mean, it was definitely very large, but
right, yeah, oh yeah, because the glare off this thing, using hypotheticals, it would still be massive.
Here it is. Can y'all see that?
Yeah. Let me get rid of the blue, purple,
whatever. All right. Let me back this up. Back it up. Here we go. I mean, I can see the ground lighting up out there. And that's a very big light pattern on the ground, too.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Of course, a couple would have found it right there.
Look at this thing.
So you can see that. You see how it's blown out, though, when you're looking at it, and as it dims.
Boom! Do you see it just fall apart right there?
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing this thing was probably about the size of a large, like a beach ball.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It realistically could have been that big, and then the glow off of it.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it when it breaks up, it's still pretty big.
Yeah. It blows apart into multiple pieces, and that's consistent. And that's why I was like, this thing's probably real. Just for that, that very reason. So it's pretty cool.
I wonder if anyone actually walked out there to look at the ground to see if it actually had singed the ground any at all, depending on how high up it was.
Dude, I doubt it.
Yeah. That would be the first thing I would want to do.
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that sucker came to party. It ain't messing around. Yeah, right? That thing was huge. It was absolutely huge.
You can make ball lightning in your microwave. It destroys it, but you can do
it.
You
can do it. Yeah, yeah, you can. Yep.
It sounds like Anita has experience doing this. Do we, Anita?
Blowing up microwaves?
Right.
That's probably true.
Well, she is a chef, I mean, it's possible she could have just said, I want to see what happens.
Inadvertently, we're going to put a bunch of minerals wrapped in aluminum foil, and we're going to put it inside a pimento loaf. And then we're going to put that inside a microwave. Welcome to Mystery Science Theater. And fires it up, destroys a microwave. I could see that happening.
Mr. Wizard.
Right? Or
actually, it said airport spotlight was a decent theory. That's true. The problem is it's not. That thing wasn't in the right place.
Yeah, it was up
it's too far up the valley.
Yep, I thought about that too. Actually,
it's a good theory.
Yep, and that's again. It didn't really look like that. It didn't look like it was on the outside of a cloud. It looked literally like this thing's behind the clouds, and it's either luminous or it's being lit by the lightning. And that's it. That's all you got. You just got that little flash, and up it went.
Oh yeah, night was huge.
Fantastic.
Beth says they saw that Rachel saw something similar to the ball lightning, but at night.
Well, guess we'll figure that out shortly, because as you heard at the top of the show, we are heading back out to Wineberry, and we're taking some equipment and it's going to be a good time. We're going to be throwing some pretty big lasers out there,
Indeed.
and cannot wait to show you guys the results of that experiment. We've got 2 experiments that we want to conduct, and I don't know. We're going to see. We're going to see what happens.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. So you're definitely going to get to see it here. It'll be here on our channel. If we catch something really cool, before it's edited, we'll drop it over here maybe and let you guys see it, or it'll be up in a little short or something. But, wish us luck, because you never know what's going to happen to Wineberry, man. That place is weird.
Sasquatch might decide to rip Joe's head off.
I mean, to be honest, I would settle for Sasquatch over some of the weird things that are out there. I can explain away a Sasquatch sometimes. I can't explain away things I can't see. And the radiation, there's that. I can't explain those things. So that's what we're going to try to do, is get out there and try to get some of those invisible lights.
Yep.
And try to catch those things and just see if it'll play.
Did you I'm sorry, I was asking you a question.
Go ahead,
No. I
Dave.
was going to say, we're going to be able to deploy some really, really interesting hardware this go around, and we're really excited to be able to do that. Dave,
Go
what were
ahead.
you gonna say?
Go ahead, Dave.
Well, have you guys detected radiation there at Wineberry before? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
Yes. Yes. And particularly under the tree structure area up on the ridge, there was both microwave and ionizing radiation, gamma radiation.
The highest level of radiation that we recorded, though, was where she saw that red dot up on the side of the hill.
Yep. And then we went up, and of course, as soon as I point the camera at it, it goes right back to baseline. Actually, it went below baseline, way below baseline, and then came back up.
I'd be a little curious
with those
about
lasers.
Wineberry.
There you go, Rob.
Are you guys familiar if there's a bunch of, because that's kind of in cave country.
There is some karst land up there.
I kind of wonder, because we obviously, like quartz deposits and other types of minerals. I mean, I wonder too if that could partially be affecting whether it's explainable or not.
I don't know if he chases it or if it's just like drawn to him at this point. LR might be that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacques Vallée, the phenomena seems to be deceptive by projecting faces. Oh no, it's supposed to be throwing up a face, but it's not.
Yeah.
It tries to be deceptive by projecting visuals.
Yeah. It's that's a possibility.
See, the is it's projecting invisibles, and it's only visibles on really high tech sensors that we just so happen to have.
Yeah, that's the weird part that doesn't make sense. And then it's the invisibles on top of the other, validation points that we get, radiation, non-ionizing and ionizing. So there's just a lot of weird stuff.
Indeed. Wineberry is weird. Can't wait to get back out there. It's going to be a blast. You guys are going to enjoy what you see.
There you go, Jen.
Bacon.
All you baconators.
Oh, Beth called it too.
Oh, well, look at that.
Beth, you got it.
That's crazy. I didn't even see that.
And that was before Jen. It was two there before Jen. Good job, Beth.
Wow. Impressive. I'm impressive.
I'm having a craving for bacon now.
Right.
Sounds good.
We said there's just a lot of weird stuff. Ron Lanham, print that on a shirt.
Yeah, there's just a lot of weird stuff. That's pretty much it. Sasquatch and paranormal in Wineberry holler something that is going on at Wineberry. Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on Wineberry. She'll tell you that. There's a lot of stuff going on Wineberry. There's never any. When is there not something going on at Wineberry?
Right. It really doesn't ever hardly stop. The only time it stops is when you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
So
I think that can be a key sometimes as well to this stuff. So Yeah, I think so. Come
All
on.
right, here we go. Here we go. Get them
Let's
in.
do
Get
it.
them in. Get them in.
See how
One
rusty
last
you guys
before
are.
we go.
How rusty are you guys? It's been a while.
Beth said, when Joe and Ron have to ignore me, it's the only piece they get. I have to live it, though.
Ah,
Let's see how not good I am. An eyeball.
All right, we got a lot of people getting those guesses in. Again, this is a Zenner card test. You've got star plus square, circle, and wavy lines, aka bacon.
Oh, so they're giving us a choice. Okay. Like it's an eyeball, could be a round circle.
Technically,
So I'm going for a circle then.
all right. Are we good?
all right. Let's see what we
We
got.
good? We good? I'm
See
going
who got it.
square.
See who
I'm
got
going
it.
square.
Going circle.
No, it's Dave.
Bam. Circle.
Dave got it.
Me and
Check it
Dave.
out.
Good job. Let's see. Me, Dave, finding the trackway. G3 got it. LR got it. Sweet.
Dang. Look
Gary
at you
Scholler
guys.
got it.
Wow.
Not that rusty after all.
Not at all. I'm
We
impressed,
still got
guys.
it. Still
Dang.
got it.
Y'all
Now,
impressed me.
Now you know if you hold that circle below your belt, you get to punch Joe in the arm.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That's funny, Dave. You're
Oh,
funny.
man.
That's why we have you on.
Oh, Dave, thanks for coming and hanging out with us, man. We appreciate your insight on what we've got coming at us here in this interstellar object. It's always valuable to have our resident astronomer drop by and give us the what's what on any kind of weird planetary stuff, and in this case, interplanetary stuff that is taking place. And
Well, as it, gets closer, you'll be back to tell us more. And hopefully you may even be able to image some of these things possibly, right?
right.
I'm hoping to image that the Atlas 3. It may be moving too fast to image. I don't know. I mean, when I have in the telescopes, they usually update them with current comets, meteors, asteroids. So sometimes we can't image those.
Okay.
But as fast as this thing's going, I don't know. We shall see.
Well, if you do, definitely let us know, and we'll share that over here with everybody.
Oh, you better believe I'll be photoing that thing if I can. Yeah.
Guys, just before we go ahead and take off, we're going to give one last run here. Special round of thanks to Uvaru, L.R. Miller, Dances with Wolves, Larry Hose, James Nelson, Eyes in the Woods, Gary Schuler, Bigfoot, Littlefoot, and of course, Chug Stugans. Thank you. All of your contributions here have made possible what we're doing and are keeping these things moving. We can't thank you guys enough. It's absolutely phenomenal what you guys are able to pull off and keep free for eons to come for everybody. Dave would make tons of money off me and ad revenue if he ever decided to start up his own show. I could listen to him all day.
Thanks, Ashley. I'm trying to get my nerd on as hard as I can.
There you go.
Well, he'll be back,
Very
Ashley.
I was distracted by the glare off Joe's head. Yeah, I've got a freshly peeled dome right now.
He will definitely be back, Ashley. Especially over the next few weeks, probably, because we're
sure.
we're going to be watching this stuff, and it's going to be changing. So we're going to try to keep it real and try to make sure people are the information's there if anyone wants it. If not, giant motherships.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
like this. Yeah. Battlestar Galactica. Now we're talking.
Solar system.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, let's just hope it's not the Cylons.
Yeah.
LR, you enjoy your week next week, man. Going on vacation, going to be down at the Dirty Mert. You be safe and enjoy that
Yep.
murky brown beach water.
You have fun and be careful.
Absolutely. Put a couple back for us, man. We appreciate you and everybody else that's here hanging out with us. And remember, next week we are going to be right back here at 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys can join us live every Thursday. We have an absolute blast. This show is also driven very heavily by the audience, if you didn't notice. We try to interact with everybody as much as we can.
Yeah.
It comes in the comment section. And again, this show is kept free by you, the listener. We don't throw things behind paywalls. There's no special subscription plans. You guys are able to just come out and help fund everything you want with whatever you can do. And other people come in and they fund the crazy stuff, and it's fantastic. And you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
And you literally keep the lights on.
You're going to get to see it. And I guess it starts next weekend, right, Joe?
Absolutely, it does. It's going to be a blast. This new series that we got coming out, man, it's going to be really entertaining.
Soon we can reveal more soon. That's all I can say.
Yes, we already have a name. We got a working title. We've got a bunch of stuff going. You're going to love it. It's essentially going to be picking up where we kind of left off. We're going to be following up on some leads that we were working on with Paranormal Horizons. And we're going to be exploring some of the areas that we were in before and giving you guys all access to everything that we're doing because of everybody that supports this show.
You might even get some backstories. You never know, and we're going to talk to some interesting people out there. So, by the way, if you're an interesting person and you want to tell your story, and if it has to do with anything paranormal, reach out.
Absolutely.
We can either put you on or we can put you behind a curtain and change your voice. We can do all that. So whatever you want to do.
Even if you don't want to be, I kind of want to do that to somebody just to have that unsolved mysteries moment.
I missed the entire show.
Oh my gosh. He was having some technical difficulties and just got back. But we gave you guys a special thing. Go back and watch the replay, man.
Yeah,
and,
you can watch the whole replay. It's pretty good. We brought Dave Roberts in there, the resident astronomer, and he kind of went over some of the stuff with the approaching objects, and gave us actual data on that. And hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, he may actually be able to get a photo of this thing. Fingers crossed, everybody. Let's give Dave a huge shout out there if he manages to pull this off.
Well, thank you. I was going to tell everyone, if anybody, I don't consider myself an expert. Again, I'm a very hardcore hobbyist, so very hardcore into it. I have a lot of friends that are way smarter than I'll ever be.
He's an expert.
But if anyone has any questions or anything that they would like to have answered, I'm not sure how to fill those questions directly to me unless you know me on Facebook, or if you have any questions, I'll say if I'm giving them to Ron or Joe, and I'm sure they would pass them on to me, and I'll try to get some answers if I can.
Yeah, and feel free to over there. You guys, almost all you guys are on the group, right? So post your questions at Dave, and he will answer, or just post them, and I'll make sure he sees it.
Or I'll find someone who can answer.
Exactly, because that's what an expert does. I don't know if anybody knows that or not. Expert doesn't just come off with answers that they make up. They actually look for someone to get them the correct answer. They're okay saying, I don't know.
I like helping people. It's fun.
Yeah.
That's why you're here, buddy.
That's right, man. And we value everything that you're able to do and what you bring to the table here, man. You're a tremendous asset to the collective, and you've been one of our longest standing friends. So, literally for ages.
We've cuddled many times. Yeah,
exactly. It is not called that.
Joe and Ron's Excellent Adventures.
It is not.
It needs to be. It's going to be the name of the show, Joe and Ron's Excellent Adventures.
Most excellent. No.
Guys, thank you all for hanging out. We appreciate each and every one of you. Remember, if you've had some kind of crazy experience, we got that Gmail running across the bottom.
Post the group.
Shoot
Post
us
the
an
group.
email or get
She's
us a hold
right.
of.
Hang on. Don't do anything yet. I got to get this. She's right. I keep forgetting to do this. I always just assume you guys know this stuff. I don't know why I do that, because there are new people who may have no idea what the group is. There you go, guys. Posted the group over there for you. That way you can get on there and ask your questions of us and of Dave and share your data. It is a drama-free zone. We keep it that way. And honestly, we don't have to do much because you guys are pretty darn awesome. And we don't have any challenges. So that's wonderful. And I love it that way.
Well, everybody, again, one last time, thanks for joining us. And remember, apparently, if you put peeps in the microwave, they do turn in to giant-sized rubber duckies. At least
look, a party on. It says party on down there. Look, it's like the old Wayne and Garth thing, right? See, right here.
Party on, Ron. Party on, Garth.
I remember that.
Stay wild and weird, everybody.
Hey, party on, guys. Bye.